Hey peeps, Tyler here. So update on my possession. I made a video a bit ago. I think it was in September. I'm not sure. But it was about where I got possessed this past summer. I'll leave a link to it in the description and in the end screen. But I have an update to that. I'm not possessed again. I was seriously thinking I was. Stuff's been freaky. But I'm not going to read it word for word. At least I don't think I am. But I probably will read just a lot of it word for word. I have a Discord server if you would actually like to look at it yourself and join, because you can join for free. It's Discord, and it's in the description. You can talk about all kinds of things. I've talked about it before. That's not what this video is about, though. And yeah. So like I said, update on my possession story because it's not finished, even though I'm not possessed. I think you'll understand as I go along. And I was actually possessed because I was thrown across my room, as I mentioned in that video. It's a long video, but yeah. Which is probably good to watch first, but like if you've already watched it or you're just really interested, like, possessed, what are you talking about? Yes. I was actually thrown across my room, and that was just the beginning. But, anyway. It involved my awakening. Turns out, awakening's actual, like, thing where you awake to the fact that God is real and God is the universe, and there's a lot more to it. And it's also very confusing when you're fourth density, because apparently you have to get possessed if you're fourth density. There's not a lot of fourth density people. It's like a few percentage points. I don't remember how much. But when you learn about the densities, but also like fourth density, you have to get... Every density has its own thing. They're all like relatively difficult. Like it's relative to each level in person or whatever the fuck. But with fourth density, we can't have possessed people all over the place. So obviously it makes sense. There's not a lot of fourth density people. But when you do the math, it's still gonna be like millions of people in the world because we have so many freaking people. But so yeah. Turns out I awoke like minutes after I was thrown across the room, or maybe that's why I awoke. Minutes after I was possessed. But I don't think that's why I awoke. Because that was involved the two minds. That was something else. It takes me a bit to think sometimes. But it wasn't that long after. It was the same day. Well, it turns out, now, my mind is attempting to reenact the possession because of PTSD. And I say attempting, because it takes two minds. You're supposed to have one. We all have one. Even if you're not freaking using it like you're supposed to be, you have one. The mind is actually in the brainstem. I'm not a scientist. But I'm sure the brainstem is somewhere back here. The mind is in the brainstem. It sends signals to the brain, which is like the electricity, and then the brain sends signals to the heart, which is where your soul is located. There's a whole lot to this. This is probably going to be a long video. But your mind also holds all your past life memories, that they're there even though you're not aware of them all. If you were, that would be way too much for the human brain to handle. But, yep, so, like I said, you're only supposed to have one brain. Yeah, we all have one brain. You're only supposed to have one mind. But you can get possessed by another mind. Obviously not by somebody who's alive. But, or incarnated, I should say. Not by somebody who's incarnated. But, well, turns out my mind has attempted to reenact the possession because of PTSD. But I'm no longer possessed, thankfully. I'm spasming, like my legs and other body parts, just random muscle spasms, and jerking. Like I might go like this, or maybe not like that much. Like, if I do it, you might not even notice because it's a little bit, but I can feel it. If you do notice it, I'm sorry, I can't help it. But, and jerking all over the places of my body is trying to throw me across the room again. Seriously, my body is trying to throw me across the room again. But because of science and spirituality being one and the same, because God is the universe, literally, and is sentient, spiritual science, because God made science, and there's a whole bunch of rules and stuff, including things that can make things look like miracles happen, but it's all science or something. I'm human, and I'm not even a scientist, but it wouldn't matter if I was, because no human brain can comprehend it all. But one mind cannot throw a person across the room. That is impossible. It can try, though, and you will be spasming and jerking all over the place. Why would it try? Because it was possessed, and now it no longer is. And while it's great, it is no longer... Well, the body is no longer possessed. It is PTSD. It is traumatized as all fuck, because being possessed is traumatizing. No density has it easy, apparently. I'm not sure what the other densities have. I'm 4th density, like I said. If you've managed to find this video, you probably are too. I'm not sure. But... Or you're just following me for some reason. But... Thankfully, the mind, or the body that is not the person who's no longer possessed, the mind is, traumatized, because that's traumatizing, and now it's trying to reenact it, because that's what trauma does. But it can't. But like I said, that's what happens. And yes, God has... I've been doing stuff I didn't even think I knew I could do, and I'm not sure what the names of it is. But it can't. And because God has told me that it takes 2 minds... So yeah, I just said all that with more words. But also, other things, I've been doing a whole lot of stuff, and it's been very, very, very confusing. If you are 4th density and also going through it, you will be confused to high heaven. Because you are also trying to integrate mind, and I'm not entirely sure what that means, but it's very confusing. And it's maddening. But like I said, if you are awakening, it doesn't matter what density you are, it's maddening. But if you're here, you're probably 4th density. Because I've learned that's how the universe works at this point. So... But I've also, been talking to God and tried to separate what God was trying to tell me and what God was trying to show me, because it involves, shadows and past life memories and things I'm going to do. I'm a writer, and I talk about my writing on here, and, some books I've written and some books I will write are from God, and some apparently weren't. I was able to actually ask question by question. Anyway. But, so yeah, also other things related to writing projects I haven't even started yet, that will involve more downloads from the universe / God, as well as which previous things I've written were from the universe as well. You can use a pendulum and other things, but it's a lot more than that I'm talking about, but I'm not going to explain it. You either know what I'm talking about or you don't. But, as well as which previous things I've written were from the universe as well. It's interesting, and now I should probably reread those past stories, because some of them I'm like, no way. You have to be kidding. I wrote that so long ago, I think it's trash now. I keep it up because, my principles and stuff, and I understand, that's where I started, and there's nothing wrong with that, so I don't actually think it's horrible. It's just, I'm so much of a better writer now, it's kind of embarrassing, even though I know it shouldn't be, but that's how writers are, and I'm not an exception. But I keep it up because I know all that. And apparently some people still enjoy it, so that's awesome. But, so my writing, according to what I think now, back then, was horrible. But it was from God. Really? Well, now I think it's precious. And now I realize I should probably take a look and ask about my poems. So I have poems too, I didn't even look at them. But, I don't think I completely understand what this dude is saying. But apparently he's 5th density, and he's in my Discord server. But, he says, regarding possessions, darkness tries to invade through the subconscious mind, hence the PTSD as a door. Which I had PTSD beforehand from other things. That might be what he means there, I'm not sure. But you also fortify yourself by opening the heart and consciously connecting to love. As long as you have heart-mind coherence, then they don't have power. This doesn't quite apply to me. You'll understand what I'm talking about. But, in case some of this has some relevance to somebody, I think I'm supposed to read it. Love dissolves fear, hence they have no power. Shadow work connects heart to mind and closes the fear mind doors they try to use. Regarding writing, we are always evolving. What you wrote at the past made you into who you are today. Everything has its purpose. So, this is where I probably have to just start reading it. My possession was actually predetermined before I was born. The mind that, because again, fourth density, I was planning to awaken. While everybody, maybe not everybody, but like, most people, like, you have the ability to awaken. Everybody can awaken. And if you don't, it's generally because you chose not to in that lifetime for some reason, because it's very complicated. You can, like, choose not to awaken in a lifetime. That's fine. But, like, everybody has the ability to awaken, and then sometimes you will often choose to awaken in a lifetime, or at least try to awaken. And so, yeah, I was planning to awaken in this lifetime. So that's why my possession was predetermined, because again, fourth density. Right. The mind that possessed me murdered me in my past life. It was because fourth density, which I am, people need to be possessed in order to awaken. I awoke that way, but awaking in that way is very confusing, to say the least, and traumatizing. Every density has their stuff, though. I don't know the rest. That's not always how it goes, so I have no doubt what you... that's not important. Oops. Oh, and forgot, I found out why I had to be born in the same sun sign that I died in my last lifetime. Because I was murdered. I knew... I've known my past life, my previous past life, for over a year now. And my birthday then, and I realized I was in the same sun sign, and I know a few other people's past lives connected to me. Like, we were related, same soul group, but that's actually not important. Also, actually, soul group's not important at all. It's a thing, but it's not important. But, because we all interact with each other, we're all the one people, one human race, one people conscious throughout the universe, but that's also not what I'm talking about. But, and I noticed me and somebody else, actually my dad, but, had the same sun sign as the sign the sun was in when we died in our last lifetime. So, and I knew this whole time that there was a reason for it. I could see that, but I didn't know what the reason was. Turns out it's because I was murdered. It's science, a rule somehow. And it's not the case with all deaths, but applies to all murder. There's a lot more to murder than that, but that's also not what this video is talking about. Obviously, if murder is obvious, like somebody murders somebody else, it's fucking murder, it applies there. But, yeah. God had to get my attention. I've been going through hell the past few days, but I get it now. At least some of it. There's always seems to be war. It never ends. But, in order to let me know my mind was reenacting the possession, I was possessed by God in a way in order for God to get my attention. But also there's fourth density stuff, and there's, like, tests and challenges, I think. At least that's what I'm calling them. And I think I'm going to lose my mind, only I realized since I can't technically lose my mind, me and my mind are just going to crazy town together. Hi. But, I'm also apparently jaded. That's not the point. But, my mind has been torturing me and my body, making it hard to sleep with the jerking and the spasming. I'm also sleep deprived, hi. But, it's not stopping, but I know why it's happening now. So, there's that. So at least I can relax. Sort of. It's been acting possessed all over again, and it's been driving me crazy. I'm not, though. I'm okay. Sort of. But acting as much as just one mind can, which does not include actually being able to throw me across the room, thankfully. Because that hurt like hell. Ow. The bite is also somehow in the brainstem, as I mentioned. It's involved music and books as well, like literally stuck listening to Spotify music and things triggering this and that and that and that. I've been going insane. And also been trying to read, and I've hardly gotten any reading done. It seems like every October is ruined for me, only now I've lived a real-life horror October, so I didn't ask for this. But apparently I did before I was born, and I don't remember. Please send help. And I'm pretty sure this video is showing you integrating my mind and how I'm just beginning that. I'm sorry. But, my mind's apparently very jaded and has been tortured recently. Like, I think I'll be okay. I know God is real now, and I know God loves me, and that's awesome. But it's not easy. But like I said, it's involved music and books as well. I've been barely managing one chapter a day. It's been so chaotic. I am reading My Cotton Candy Massacre so slowly, and I'm enjoying it, but it's so hard. I'm reading it so slowly, it's so hard to remember shit. And I don't know if I'm gonna get to. It's the fucking 28th, 1 a.m. October 28th at 1 a.m. I'm not gonna finish it. I'm not gonna get to Frankenstein by the end of November. November, I've already promised, is I'm gonna be editing a lot, but I can't do nothing but edit. Because I'm editing my first novel. So I'm sure I'll finish them in November, but I was trying to finish them in October and get other stuff watched and read or something, but no, that's not gonna happen. Because of all this. But, yeah. I wonder if what I went through there has a name. I think it does. I probably heard it. I don't care right now. I've been annoyingly, like I said, only reading one chapter a day for days, now been getting downloads every damn time about past lives or other stuff involving my writing, and it's been a lot. Like I said, all on the same book. Yes, it's really called My Cotton Candy Massacre, I'm not joking. And it was supposed to be just for fun reading, a simple horror book, because it's October. It's past 8 a.m. and I really need to go to bed soon, but I'm shaking so much. Obviously, this is not current. I do sleep in my chair. My sleeping is erratic, and like I said, this has been majorly fucking with it. I think I need another bowl of weed so I can calm down. My body has... That was also a part of it before. And yeah, my body has been acting strange in ways to involve my... My body has been acting strange in ways as well, involving my arms reaching for things before I even think to do them and other weird shit like that. I'm not kidding. Like a second or so beforehand, or maybe even a couple of seconds beforehand, noticeable and freaky. My eyes won't even necessarily be looking at the thing I'm reaching for, also making me clumsy as fuck. Like I'll be looking over here and just like, hello, I didn't quite decide that yet. That's a whole science thing. Oh, I should probably explain what I was kind of explaining before. Because, that's another part of it. Where your mind is literally in the brainstem. The mind sends, like, I guess the electric signals to the brain, and then the brain sends them down to your heart, which is where your soul is located. And apparently it's fine, like heart transplants are fine. I'm not sure what happens there, but that's somehow explains why, like, people who get heart transplants get, like, some personality trait, I think it is, or something, and then they get a heart transplant. I guess it's like a gift on top of a gift. I don't really know, but that's fine. But your soul obviously doesn't die. When you die, your soul just goes wherever the fuck souls go, in between lives. But while you are incarnated, your soul is inside of your heart. So the mind in the brainstem sends electrical signals to the brain, or I guess we see them as they're electrical signals, but they're also thoughts. Or they contain the thoughts, something like that. They have your thoughts in them, and then they send the thoughts and whatnot down in signals to your soul. And then, of course, your soul, your heart isn't actually your soul is inside your heart. But, your soul pumps the blood through your body. And your aura, which is energy, and is also, it's literally a life force. I just know life force. Gives your blood life. And then your soul, like I said, pumps the blood through your body. But, almost forgot why I was talking about that for a second there, but I had to explain all that. Because that's why there's a lag, in order for this to be happening. To where I can be reaching for something before I even, like, think and look about it. I'm like seconds before, I'm like, excuse me? Where did my free will go? What the fuck? Why are you doing my body doing shit before I even think about doing it? Before I'm aware I'm thinking about it. It's freaky as fuck. And yes, I have to cuss. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me about that. And apparently that's why. Because it takes time to get from the brain to the soul, and then the soul to do the thing. And it's a slight lag. And normally you get... And my mind is freaking out right now because it's reenacting the trauma of the possession, which is why it's happening so fast. Normally this isn't supposed to happen. And it means actually your mind and your soul can actually be at odds, by the way. They don't have to agree on what they're trying to do, even though you share one body and you are one person. Because because actually, not from my understanding, and other things that are probably not going to be in this video, but probably other ones. A mind, a life form can have just a mind without a soul. That's way more terrifying than it sounds. But a mind, relax. But a mind without a soul is very dangerous. A soul without a mind, I think, is useless. I don't think that's right. I'm not quite sure. The point is, they need both. You need a mind and a soul. And we're incarnated, at least until you reach 7th density, and then you don't have to incarnate anymore, but you still can, and people still do. But, like, you don't actually have to at that point. But yes, you do have to actually reincarnate until you reach 7th density. So that kind of puts a damper on reincarnation, because it's kind of forced. But also, you do get a lot of choices, but you have to reincarnate until you reach 7th density. But, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. But I know I was talking about the lag. Apparently that's why there's a lag. My apologies if I completely lost something. And I'm feeling on and off weird as I'm talking about this. I'm positive I don't have all my free will right now. Please let me know if you know what I'm talking about, because you're awake too. But, yeah. Also, pendulums. If you're using pendulums, your own mind, well, if you're possessed, it'll actually go backwards. Though, also, if you're not possessed yet, but you're going to be possessed later in life, it will also still go backwards. Because I'd used it a long time ago, and I'm like, why is it going ass backwards from everybody else? Like, yes is normally nods. People nod as yes, so it'll go, like, this way. And people shake their head for no, so it goes this way, and that's actually, like, supposed to be the way it goes. But if you're possessed or going to be possessed, it'll go the opposite direction. Just so you know. If you're like, why is it going backwards? That's supposed to be possessed. Why is mine going backwards? I can't be possessed. Nothing's happening. Just wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you found this video too soon. But, hopefully I didn't find this video too soon. But, because that just sounds like hell to know beforehand, frankly. Oh, the free will. That's what I was talking about. I'm done there. But, yeah. Then there's more from the dude I was talking about. I didn't entirely understand what he was talking about at first, and I still don't. But let me read. Oh, I was talking about the weird feelings. That too. But, yeah. I'll just read this, because it might be important for somebody. Compassionate understanding, empathy is my lesson, so I agree each has their own approach. In my perspective, there are lessons on self-love and self-sovereignty/boundaries. Sunshine Rebirth means you are finishing your unfinished personality lessons from the last life, which confused me at first, because I'm like, it means I was murdered in my last life. What are you talking about? But then, I realized something. Like I said, I know the birthday, and I've known it for over a year now. Months over a year now. The birthday of my last lifetime. And I've known it for over a year. Guess what I noticed? Actually, I didn't even notice it. I didn't look at it. I just thought of it. It's just like, wait a minute. Because of other stuff, well, Sunshine Rebirth, my sun sign is Aquarius. So I'm like, I thought of Aquarius South Node. My last lifetime, I had an Aquarius South Node. South Node. The opposite of the North Node. North Node is your purpose. South Node is like your overused gifts, is what it's commonly called. But like you're supposed to... I'm not sure if overused gift is appropriate actually at all anymore now. But, it may or may not be. But, like you're supposed to be like, use less of those traits. You don't necessarily have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. AKA, you don't necessarily have to avoid them completely. And I looked at that, it's a 2444. So 444. But, yeah, your South Node, you're not supposed to use those traits too much, typically speaking, because they're your overused gifts. They're the traits you typically use a lot of. They're your crutches. You're supposed to like back off a bit, like everything in balance. Hence why I said you don't have to throw the baby out the bathwater. You don't have to get rid of them 100%, but you need to back the fuck off because they're your crutches and shit. That's what it's typically called about. I'm no longer sure if that's true, other than you're not supposed to use too much of them. And I guess did that very well. I don't know. Or maybe it's not actually the way people think. I'm not sure. But I'm like, so yeah, I realized that later. My advice is to look at Aquarius' weaknesses and overcome them. I think actually that's the exact opposite of what he said. I could be wrong. My brain is still freaking out, by the way. Because I'm a super Aquarius, kind of. Even though it's just my Sun and my Venus. That's it. That's in tropical, though. If you look at sidereal, I'm a Capricorn Sun. But in sidereal, my North Node is Aquarius. So there's that. And that's the thing, apparently whole sign doesn't actually work. It just looks like it works because, like, a lot of the planets will stay in the same houses, but not all of them do. So that's why people get confused, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't actually work. Placidus works, but so does sidereal. And other things, a lot of other things. There's a whole shit ton of astrology, and a whole lot of them, they do all work, despite the fact it's, like, very confusing and a lot. And you're like, how does it all work? I don't know. I'm not God. Nobody's going to understand it all. You can study astrology your whole life. You'll never understand even 1% of it. But, yeah, in sidereal, my North Node is actually Aquarius. Whereas in tropical, I am a sun sign Aquarius, which is how it applies here, apparently. And a Venus Aquarius. So sorry to hear about your spasming. Sounds like you are operating from the subconscious mind, which makes sense since you didn't sleep much. Oh. I forgot about the pendulum. That's what I forgot about. That's what I lost the plot of. Where you were just going backwards. Also, pendulums. Your mind or God will move the pendulum. Yes. I don't know if you have to be awake for God to move the pendulum. I'm not sure. But, like, either can actually lie to you, but, like, God's gonna do it with a good purpose. Or, like, try to direct you because, like, it's a freaking pendulum and you're asking it, like, yes and no questions. But of course your mind can lie to you, not because it hates you, because it is part of you, but, like, because minds are very chaotic places. And also, they don't know everything. Your mind is not God. But, hence, like, you can't always trust the pendulum is what I'm trying to say. But also, like, it is a very, very, very valuable tool. And that's apparently how pendulums work. I also know some details of other lives that I don't know specifically. Like, I don't know their birth dates or who, like, names. But I know some details of some of my other past lives as well. So apparently science and spirituality coexist. The universe has rules, which, like, we already know that. No, we don't know that. I'm sure we have a lot of rules wrong, and we barely know anything. But, like, we know the universe has rules. Has science. The universe is also sentient. It's God, and God can do things. I've seen things and had freaky experiences. I've actually met people who, well, a person who was awake as well and had freaky experiences, and it is just, as well as, like, with technology and other things, doing stuff that is not actually considered possible, but, technology and other things doing stuff. God can also do many things that look like miracles, but it's all somehow science. But in order to bend, I'm not sure if bend is the right word, certain rules, one has to be awake. So yeah, then I realized my last lifetime, my South Node was Aquarius. My sun sign, because I was murdered, is Aquarius in this lifetime. Exactly as you said. I'm not sure that's what he said. I'm very confused. Right now, I'm meant to strengthen some Aquarius traits, which apparently I'm doing very well. That might actually be what he said. I'm very confused right now. That's not the point. Everything's fine. Mental strength and some Aquarius traits, which apparently I did a very good job at, despite not seeming like I have a shitload of Aquarius in my charts. Apparently they're strong. The Aquarius is strong in this one. The proof. In astrology. Like, this has been a very long video. But, so, thank you if you're keeping up. Apologies if you're not, and you're still here anyway. Thank you. So, also, I've been freaking out about... I don't want to talk about this. I'm going to be going like this the whole time. If you have a spider fear, you will also understand. Actually, you won't understand to this extent. Unless you have a very, very vivid imagination, maybe you will. I don't know. But, this is not about my previous lifetime. Apparently, it's from 3 lifetimes ago. But I died, along with my partner, by walking into, apparently, a whole bunch of spiders. A nest of brown recluses. But, and since I'm working on integrating mind, I can now feel spiders all over me. Like, not, like, literal would be worse, obviously. But, like, anyway. But also I'm going to have to write about that lifetime as well. But fictional, I said, of course. Because obviously I don't know all the details. But I do know some more than what I'm saying. But a future writing project that I got from God just yesterday. So I guess I need to get over it, but please, I beg of thee, get the spiders off of me. It feels so real. I mean, like, every time my mind, like, freaks out and thinks about them, I mean, real would be worse, much worse, and I'm not hallucinating, unless this counts, I guess. Like, I'm not actually feeling, it doesn't actually feel exactly like it, but it's close, and I don't know how to describe it. I'm not actually hallucinating, but it's still very disturbing. It's more real than anything, any memory I've got from this lifetime that I can actually fully remember, I've remembered or thought of before. Please make it stop. Why? We were in the woods, and somehow we ended up in a nest of brown recluses, and we died. Why? Why did I have to say that on this video? I hate everything right now. I promise I'm okay. It's just been a lot. So... yeah. So yeah, my mind is freaking out since my body, thanks to my mind, is still reenacting my possession from this past summer as much as it can by itself, proving I'm not actually possessed anymore, just by my own mind, and it's really freaky, and causing me to lose sleep because of the spasming and the jerking, which is it trying to throw me across the room again, but it takes 2 minds, aka actually being possessed. So, that's bugged me about possession fiction before. I'm like, why? This was long before I got possessed. I did not know it was actually possible. Be careful what you wish for, because I wanted proof that God exists. But also, like, it's wonderful that I got proof from it that God exists. But also, like, ow, and I'm traumatized now, and my body continues trying to throw itself. Where was I? I'm not quite sure. Oh, the fiction. So long before all this happened, didn't know it was actually possible to be possessed or anything. I would, I've never been into possession fiction, and maybe this is why. Because my soul and mind somehow knew, but I wasn't aware, or whatever the fuck. I was like, why in the world are you questioning if it's mental illness or possession when they're literally flying through the fucking air? I've read and watched The Exorcist. I haven't seen or read any of the sequels. And by the way, I did like them. I gave the book 3 stars and I gave the movie 4. I think I saw the movie long before I read the book, and then I learned it was a book, so I read the book, and then I watched the movie again. I do like the movie a bit more than the book for some reason, or at least I did. I don't know if I'm going to rewatch or reread it now. I think I gave the book away because I'm like, I don't want to reread this. Because I didn't, like, love it, but I didn't hate it, and I didn't... So, like, don't come for me, okay? But, that's one of the things that bugged me about it. I'm like, From what I remember, anyway. I was like, really? She's levitating. She's fucking in midair. What else could it be? Do you really think it could be mental illness? Are you kidding me? Mental illness doesn't make you fly through the fucking air. And now I know why, and I've experienced it. It's science. It takes two minds. It takes possession. Like actual possession. When you've been possessed, and then you manage to go through hell and manage to pray to God and get it out of you. Literally, you get the possession out of you. And then you're okay and you're no longer possessed, but you and your mind are traumatized, and now your body continues trying to reenact it because it's traumatized, but it can no longer throw you across the room because you are no longer actually possessed. But it will keep trying because trauma. And you will literally feel the proof. It's science and spirituality combined. I already thought all this for years, but like now experiencing it in a very, very real way is... I'm traumatized and jaded. I'm sure you can tell. I'm still gonna have to post this. But, yeah. So because of that, my mind would keep replaying the death of walking through a bunch of spiders, and it feels so real and it's very creepy. I don't know how else to put it. I've started trying to imagine setting them all on fire in retaliation. Also, by the way, I have aphantasia, and this is all very hard to explain. But it works just fine. I then actually I had to Google it. And by the way, I've looked at spiders before. I knew I didn't like spiders, and I would say I had a fear of spiders. Compared to now, I did not have a fear of spiders. I just didn't like them before. Now I'm terrified. So I Googled brown recluses to even be like, am I insane? Do they even make nests? Or they have nests? Like a nest of... Anyway. It was a nest of brown recluses, and I just had to Google it to make sure, and oh my god, I'm never doing that again. I'm not watching anything with spiders in it ever again. I cannot describe the level of creeped out I got. So hopefully hopefully I didn't say anything wrong. By which I mean, like, I don't want to piss off God or something. I've been through a lot right now. And no, God loves you. Logically, I know I can't have pissed off God like that. God loves all of us. God is love. But life is not easy, and neither is leveling up with the densities and awakening, and it's a lot. So yeah, that is this video. If you've watched this whole thing, thank you. Also, best of luck to you. Because my guess is other people who are or have been or will be possessed. I really hope not that last one, but maybe. Because I just feel like that's just going to terrify you until it happens, and that's not going to help unless it's the way it starts. It's actually... I don't know. But basically, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you're okay. I hope you know God is with you and that God loves you. I hope everybody knows that, because that's true of literally everyone, whether you're going to get possessed or not. But, yeah. Thank you for watching, no matter what. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to. If you decided to watch this video first, like I said, I'll actually talk about my possession in another video. I will link it in the description, as well as in the end screen. Thank you for watching. Namaste, and have a good day.